junglers are not so situation. Now, if oceloteWorld can punish that, that could work out really, really well for them. So expect to see them prioritize strong duelist junglers to invade and at least make paIN suffer if they do pick that.
And as we do see the rest of the bands coming in, Ziggs, Yasuo, Thresh taken away by Ocelote's team. And oceloteWorld. paIN Gaming taking away Kassadin, Elise, and Gragas. And honestly, I'm surprised at the Kassadin ban because Ocelote's made it known many times that he doesn't enjoy playing Kassadin.
True, but at the moment you would kind of have to be mad not to play Kassadin if he was available, or pick him if not, because he's just so strong under the circumstances. Even when teams have thought up specific Kha'Zix against him with a jungler that Vi gank him, punish him for everything and even existing, goes 0-4 in lane, and then he carries the game, because Kassadin at the moment is kind of broken. As a result, everyone just doesn't want to deal with it.
Punish him even for existing. That's a little hard. We are going to see Annie picked up for oceloteWorld in the hands of Dioud, who's going to be playing that one. And we have Venon picking up Olaf, and SirT picking up Jinx here. So we have seen Olaf played a couple of times throughout the entire tournament. I'm trying to remember if they played it. Yeah, they did actually in game number 2 versus Isris Gaming, and that was in the top lane. It didn't, if I remember correctly, Venom didn't do amazing, but he held on strong in his lane, and with that, because of the help later on, he was able to really trail through. I don't remember exactly what the score was he ended up with, but I remember it wasn't anything to me at least spectacular.
No, but that's the thing about Olaf. He doesn't necessarily need to do particularly well. He just needs to be enough of a threat to the squish. He has to run away from him. Yeah, essentially, as long as he is tanky enough to not die instantly, he is going to get on a squishy if he's able to get really, really fed. And he'll just kill you even, completely regardless. But character like Kale works very, very well against Olaf. Yeah,
actually, I really like that pickup, as well as the Ezreal behind that. Haydal, it's actually a very damn good Ezreal player. He's been playing for the longest time. I think it's one of his favorite, if I'm not mistaken. But having an Ezreal who can get away from Olaf very quickly, having a Kale ultimate, if need be, to keep him alive, that's a very safe AD carry. And then even if you have Annie to back that up with, it's going to be very hard to take them down. And I am not liking what I just saw. A Sona pickup here.
Sona, not so commonly seen. So squishy, and up against Annie specifically. That's a really, really risky pick. But it does give you AoE lockdown, which you can't really get anywhere else other than Annie, who isn't available right now. And her early laning presence can be huge. If they lock it.
That's the first time I've ever heard the crowd cheer for a foreign team hovering over Mordekaiser.
I doubt they're going to pick either of those two champions. They may arguably be trying to bait paIN into picking a Mumu. That is a viable option for them. And indeed, Lee Sin, he will invade the jungle, essentially, if a Mumu does get picked by paIN. He wants to be able to shut him down and shut him down hard. However, paIN don't have to play into their hands. They can pick whatever they want right now that's available. They've got a few options.
Thing is, I was not impressed by Morden's Lee Sin. I really wasn't in the games that we saw earlier on, where Casper was saying. It just really wasn't too aggressive. He didn't really counter jungle too much like we saw Arnea doing, but he was there to make the plays. I guess that's what counts in the end, but it was still very, very tricky throughout. And I want to say that's not going to be Tristan. I want to say it's not going to be an AD carry, but they're just searching to do everything they possibly have. Remember, they need to pick potentially a jungler or a top laner here, and it looks like they want to go with Trundle.
Trundle against Renekton is an interesting choice, because Trundle is actually, he's very, very good against the strongest current top laners. He's very, very good against Shyvana because he steals her resistance. He's very, very good against Mundo for the precise same reason, except he also has % health damage. Renekton, his function of kind of sustaining his way through using his Q, he's a little bit less good against that, but he can still outscale him. He can still push Renekton back over time. It just takes a bit longer, and he might, if he dies, start to fall behind. Is he going to jungle it?
I would guess not, if he's going to sit on that Ghost. I would want to assume that would be an Olaf in the jungle. And the thing is, to me, I'm thinking about is, who's delivering the ball? Who's the one setting up the entire fight with the Orianna ultimate? And right now you have Olaf, who can't be interrupted. Anything, it's like Trundle putting a pillar behind the team and then running it in there. It just kind of seems really not fluid, or not really like a great way to get the ball in there, to get the Orianna ultimate, to pull them all together.
Well, you can't get like a super shockwave set up instantly with this kind of composition, but you can run it in there. You can send the shockwave in via attaching it to Olaf and using the dissonance to speed him up while he's ulting. Plus, if Sona can get off a crescendo, there's several kind of potential avenues for that AoE initiate, and Orianna Shockwave makes a very good follow-up.
Yes, it does, and right now you're seeing paIN on your screen. 2-0 to Isurus yesterday. They knew they're coming into, well, two very good teams here. It just depended on what they wanted, or who ended up winning. Furious and oceloteWorld, where oceloteWorld obviously came out ahead right there, and they had the chance to look at them, to see how they're playing. I actually saw them sitting on the couch all day long, watching the games, talking to each other, trying to figure out what we could do against this team. And the thing is, both these teams haven't had a lot of time prepared for them, but paIN has the advantage from seeing them play earlier on today. Yeah, and paIN are also a team that will have a lot more research on oceloteWorld in general. It's harder to find, essentially, VODs for Brazilian teams if you're in Europe, but the vice versa is not necessarily true, because I believe paIN will have at least several players that speak English and can find their content. oceloteWorld, we have Trundle, Olaf, Orianna, Jinx, and Sona for paIN Gaming. Do you think we're going to see any level 1 action here? Because we didn't see much, but we have seen more today than we've seen in the entire tournament. Well, paIN they're pretty much the only Brazilian team that actually has gone for level 1s relatively consistently. They don't have a particularly strong level 1 fight, though. More than likely, anyone's going to be invading. It's going to be oceloteWorld. They've got the AoE stun on Annie, and they've got a lot more early damage between Ezreal. So paIN probably going to fan out, try and defend. oceloteWorld, whether they choose to invade or not, I couldn't really say. At the moment, it doesn't look like they're going to be going for that. We do have Jwaow spawning out Venon there on towards the top side. And I just want to say this, guys, for you who are just joining us, or who are just joined us today and didn't watch yesterday, I'm actually controlling the camera. I hardly ever do that. I usually have Joe Miller to be the one to do that, so I'm kind of not that great at it, but hope I won't miss out on too many kills here. But as you can see, Minerva just doing a little dance, and they're holding their lines across the river. No invades coming out just yet here, but do have Kami down towards this bottom side. And it looks like we're going to have standard lanes come in here across the board. Yeah, the late invade that oceloteWorld pulled earlier, maybe not such a good option against Olaf, because it's harder to predict where he's going to start. They're going to want to try and get down some early warding cover just to make sure Olaf can't, is restricted to farming. But the flip side of that is that Morden will have free reign to gank early on, and Olaf is going to be committing a lot of time in just farm. All right, now Dioud able to spot out Kami there by that ward. And we even see SirT using one as well here in this bush. Remember, we actually saw yesterday when we were casting some games, we saw Pink Ward put down in this bush, and it wasn't spotted throughout the entire game. And it paid its worth in an insane way. But right now, Venom going to be starting, well, starts at SirT, going to be starting at his red buff. In the meantime, Morden will be starting at his blue buff. So both are going to start on the same side of the map here. And we have a lot of wards out by paIN Gaming, just, one on the top side, one on the bottom side. A lot to commit this early on. Yeah, and if you have this level of jungler coming in towards the bottom lane both at the same time, Lee Sin is going to come out on top, and indeed Ezreal is better. In a gank situation, you get the minions out of the way fairly quickly because someone is going to be running away. That makes Ezreal infinitely. If he can land his Q, he has probably the highest level 1 damage of any AD carry. Right now, you're seeing him just kind of push them out. Look at that double stun coming in. They're going straight for brTT. They do pop the Ignite on, so he's very low health. He does have the barrier, but no, he doesn't actually pop it in time. He gets taken down, and now Haydal's being forced to run away. The first blood went over to him, and they get that very early advantage within 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Yeah, that's a bad start there for Jinx, and it was just because they did not respect the level 1 damage from Ezreal. If he can land his Qs, he does too much to deal with. As a result, neither jungler's going to go down there right now, and that does mean both of them are going to farm up. And that also does mean Morden doesn't really have a lot to be doing right now. He could try and jungle invade, but it's difficult to duel an Olaf anyway. So Lee Sin, the early ganking jungler, is going to be spending an awful lot of time just farming his jungle. I'm sure he's not going to complain too much about that in the end, just to get that level 6 a little earlier on and really be a nuisance when we get into these ganks. But I mean, if you think about this, Haydal and Dioud both have their flash available. brTT has 0 summoners, and Minerva was forced to use Ignite in that fight. So I would expect to actually see oceloteWorld's team be very aggressive bottom lane and keep that pressure on, because they've already gotten that first kill. If Haydal's level 2 to level 1 of brTT, like, they have a huge advantage. Yeah, it's a very nice place to gank in principle. It's that right now, the jungle
path isn't quite correct for the top lane at the moment. Sneaking in, I think, via the lane brush.
He's been looking for Venon here. He does have that rip available. Venon does have flash to escape here. And we see Jwaow putting a ward down in that top bush just to see if SirT is coming in. But both jungles are here. Both double buffs available. This could be very dangerous. Saw in the game just prior. What can happen if you lose your double buffs early on, especially to a Renekton? And Morden, he wants to make his move in here. And actually, we see SirT is backing out. If they actually wait, oh, if he was going to commit to that, could have been very bad for Venom. And they're just committing so much time. Here's the engage. Force back the cutest land. Will Morden go into it because he's so doesn't indeed go for it, and he's able to just run away right here. But a lot of damage being done, a lot of summers being committed as well. Even SirT using his ghost right there to stay alive.
Jwaow is the one that comes out best out of that exchange, and Morden may look for the dive. I doubt it though. Olaf, a little bit too healthy, a little bit too tanky, but Morden now gets to basically steal away some buffs, and Jwaow gets to shove up and back free. paIN arguably couldn't have done much better in that situation, because obviously Trundle couldn't just ignore the minions, and they weren't absolutely certain that the jungler gank was going to happen. But in the end, they have been the ones that lost that fight, essentially.
All right, now we're seeing paIN actually sit healthier than their opponents. Also, well, just from that total sustain that unfortunately Annie really doesn't give you, but burst potential obviously a lot higher out of the blue team right now. Morden to do a little bit more counter jungle, took away that big rape. He's currently level 4, SirT is as well, since he got a lot of minions in that top lane when the lane got shoved into him. But so far, Jwaow able to get a nice CS lead to his opponent, 32-24. He's able to invest into Endurance Blade and a Lost Sword, and we're seeing Ocelote go straight after Kami right now, doing some really good damage to Morden coming in from the top side. Q is the lane, he's going to go in for the flash, and they get the kill. These junglers have a complete read on each other.
Yeah, and Lee Sin is the one that picks up the kill versus Olaf. So scaling-wise, mid-lane balance not really going to be changed too much. Ocelote will get a little bit of an experience advantage, but SirT now doesn't need to worry nearly so much about the jungle invade from Lee Sin. He has got ahead in the same way that he was after that initial top game.
Fantastic play out of both these teams, very even across the board. Both of them showing that they want to get to those finals to play up against Millennium, so you can win that $15,000. And right now, also they're the ones in the lead. You see the challenge picked up for Kami. We do see also actually backing away to go buy up right now. Morden is down towards the bottom side. Minerva overextending just a little bit here, trying to get some harass done. And Morden not able to get it in, but they do get the stun. They do actually run straight into him. He does flash. The Q does land. SirT is there. They're able to just around off the hill. Do get the kill. Minerva's still alive. PNG is taken out of the air by Morden, who just flashed away. And now Dioud, he is stuck all by himself. Stop him here. Dioud's trying to get his stun out, trying to get his extra armor in. But in the end, we trade a support for an AD carry, and paIN is going to be very happy with that. Yeah, very, very nice counter gank. SirT also getting his gold up now. He can go back, pick up well, it's full Ancient Golem if he wants it, but actually choosing instead to go for the boots does help him with his gank, does help him with his escape. I really do like his presence on the map thus far, though. He's actually been there, I think, every single time Morden's tried to make anything happen. Yeah, every time. He has a perfect read on him right now, and it's really hard to do against Lee Sin, who can be so damn sneaky. And now the kills did go over to him, which is a little bit unfortunate, but both junglers picking up 2 kills apiece. We do have one over to Haydal just because of that level 1/2 exchange that we did see earlier on. SirT going to be going for his red buff here. In the meantime, Morden going to be donating his blue over to Ocelote. And Ocelote does have that single already done. There is a slightly alarming fact for paIN right now, though, in that Ocelote is farming and building up a little bit of an advantage over Orianna, but crucially here, he's playing Kayle, and we know how dangerous Kayle can be with even a moderate gold advantage. She just suddenly does 1 billion damage, and everyone on your team, bruisers or no, end up being shredded. That's something you can't really afford to let continue, but SirT is going to have a very difficult time. And Dioud, that flash Timber is Minerva getting very low on health. He's going to go down to Ignite. Dioud able to pick that one up. Now brTT getting very low on health. SirT is going to have to come help him out here. They could potentially go for the dive here when Dioud has that stun available. You see him already heading that way on the minimap. We have Kami returning back to me late with his own blue buff. SirT has joined bottom lane for the party, but this bottom lane of oceloteWorld has been doing a fantastic job. No kills coming in on the side of paIN there. And that gives him a nice, strong lead. We saw oceloteWorld's bottom lane doing very well in their games earlier on today, and they're still keeping it up right now.
oceloteWorld's bot lane is actually, I believe, a sub. I'm not 100% certain on this, but Haydal, I don't think is there. Don't quote me on it, but if that is the case, they are certainly working together really, really well. Because Haydal is a remarkably skilled AD carry, but he historically has had some issues with synergizing with particular.
Samus used to be their AD carry, but I think he went to a reformed Giants team like Naruto on it. I'm not 100% sure, so you can't quote me on that either. But like I said, either way, they're playing phenomenally well together, doing a fantastic job, and they're really trying to overwork this bottom lane and insist advantage. And you can see Morden, he is not spotted coming on his bottom side. He is level 7. He can kick one of them back. Minerva is not level 6. This can become very dangerous. Minerva's actually very, very close to level 6 right now. If they push the wave a little bit more, they might be able to pull this one off. And they do see that Warder. I'm surprised he's actually running straight in for it. Kind of, I don't know, he just didn't let the support maybe pick that one up before he went in, but they do spot each other. They do back away. And that allows Morden now to visit this middle lane since he was not spotted himself.
Yeah, this could be an easy kickback if you can get over the wall with a ward. It's just a little bit too deep for his tastes. And he's going to go back down to bottom lane right now. Or is he? He's kind of dithering, not really sure what to go for. It looks like he's going to opt in the end to just roam with his mid lane, maybe steal away Wolves. Maybe he's expecting SirT to actually be here. He's looking like he's going to go back to bot lane, though.
And you saw also he actually roamed around with them, maybe expecting SirT to be there. Since they did see a bottom lane, you're definitely right. And right now, SirT's heading down towards that bottom side of the jungle. We'll have all those wolves to be able to pick up here, but bottom lane of oceloteWorld, they're still being aggressive, they're still pushing up. They have anti-stun. Tibbers is available right now. Ignite is not up though, and Minerva has finally hit level 6, so we could start to see the aggression turn in favor of paIN here.
Level 6, when you have Sona and Jinx, is incredible. You have an amazing amount of burst. The flip side, of course, Haydal and Haydal, Ezreal, and the Dioud has a lot of burst, but it's not going to be quite as high. So either jungler appearing could completely turn that lane around. But right now, they're just taking advantage of the fact they saw Haydal go back, and Leesin's also back. So they're actually going to just not.
They're going to turn and switch straight for Dioud. Then he does get the Timbers onto them, but it's just not enough at the moment. He does get caught by the Choppers. It looks like he's going to be going down here as he, in fact, does fall to in the end to brTT. They gave the kill over to him. He stopped him from doing Dragon, which gave Morden time to get here. And if they could possibly steal this away, if they still commit for it, this could be huge. This could have been perfect play by Dioud, but instead, paIN back away, realizing they have that advantage off that one kill, especially given that over to their AD carry. Yeah,
it's not late enough in the game that you can ignore Dragon's damage at the moment. Therefore, paIN, even though they might end up, getting the Dragon, don't want to risk being caught in a situation where Kayle can poke them down, where Ezreal can poke them down while they're trying to get the Dragon done. As a result, not taking the risk kill and just walking. So kind of resetting into a phase of just farming once again, but right now, I actually have to favor paIN. I feel like they're going to have the stronger mid game.
Right now, we do have very strong Jinx already built towards that BF sword. Triforce 2/3 of the way done for Haydal. Top end, there's a huge CS discrepancy, about 30 CS between Jwaow and Venon, and that's not what you want to see between this this Trundle and this Renekton.
Trundle and Renekton, generally, I did point it out at the start, Renekton is one of the better tanks to try and deal with that lane. But Trundle will outscale him eventually, just a matter of time. But Jwaow is remarkably good at winning matchups he's not supposed to do. In fact, earlier on, he was playing versus Shyvana, gave up first blood, and then just won the lane anyway.
And Jwaow is going to have a tough time getting away from this one. He does have flash escape. He's going to look for the wall. He actually does nail the flash, but so does Venon. He gets over the wall. He's getting the slow. Will he have the ability to come up back in time to stop him? He's going to go for the dive. It looks like Jwaow so low on health, and he does stay alive. He does force him to stop committing for this. And a fantastic flash out of both Jwaow and Venon right there.
Venom was really thinking about going for the dive there, but Jwaow was actually baiting it. He wanted to use the Q to get that little spike of health, stun him under the tower, and turn it around. As it happens, Venom ends up kind of wasting his flash in the end, and Jwaow is resourceless. He's running out of mana here.
Morden is heading towards the top side as well to help out Jwaow here. Venom Just going to back away. SirT going to be going for his red buff here in the meantime. And that means the blue buff, it will be available for Ocelote. In the meantime, the bottom lane, we do see the crescendo come out. It actually hits Haydal, but Dioud is just all by himself in the front, getting a lot of damage on the brTT, so a lot of ultimates used right there, but no kills coming in either way. But with the sustain out of Minerva, he should be able to keep up brTT healthy here.
Yeah, there's no lifesteal item on Ezreal either. He needs to go back as soon as possible, which means that the paIN bot lane really wants to push out hard right now, but they're a little bit lower on health. They have to be so careful of the anti-stun engage.
Dude, he has his ultimate available. He could drop that Tibbers right on their head. He doesn't have Ignite though. And I'm not sure if Haydal will have the sustain or the damage behind him to finish them off. But the crescendo is down. That's what's really key. With that being gone, there goes their pretty much entirety of their disengage here.
Yeah, they went for the engage before and tried to get the burst down, but unfortunately the Jinx rocket actually missed, so they were kind of a little bit out of luck on that front, and that's why they're now down one ultimate.
We're going to see Kami pick up his blue buff here. Going to help him out quite a bit in lane. Also, already has his. He's been farming quite a bit, 146 CS compared to 143, so both mid laners have been keeping up with each other. The only real discrepancy still is yet in that top lane, and SirT, he actually might catch out Dioud around this corner. He's walking straight into him. Just see the ward go down. He's not going to commit for this, so he doesn't know who else is there, unfortunately. And the rest of paIN, looks like we're going to see Minerva back away, buy up some items, sit on 700 gold. He's going to finish that Sightstone, have that little bit of extra health, that little bit of extra leeway so he doesn't get bursted down. But Morden and Dioud are both going for this dragon here, and no one's in the vicinity to even stop this from paIN.
That's a really cool little play. They know where the vision control is because their own ward hasn't spotted any being placed.
And here's the dive. Jwaow goes straight into Venon. They have that kill ultimate there. Venon is certainly going to die here as the rest of the team does get that dragon. Jwaow actually jumping out while he had the ultimate on top of a little bit of a miscommunication, but they pick up the kill either way. Ocelote locks that one down. Now SirT is actually chasing that Morden. Doesn't have that buster away, but now Dioud getting very lucky, taken down by Kami right there. A little bit out of position, and a one-for-one trade in the end, but with Ocelote's team getting that dragon.
Yeah, oceloteWorld picks up, doesn't pick up the dragon. They don't even pick up the top tower though. They're using a lot of a farm, but paIN are just going straight for the jugular. Gonna take down the tower. I think before Ocelote can even get there, Haydal comes across, but I don't see that changing anything.
So we will have top turret eventually go down in the hands of Jwaow, and paIN able to take the middle turret down too. So a turret trade apiece, 1-to-1 in turrets, 23.3 thousand gold for oceloteWorld, and 22.5 thousand for paIN. And Kami and Ocelote have been farming so damn well between these two. They've been taking so many jungle camps as much as possible. And we are seeing the bottom lane of paIN actually take down that bottom turret as well. So they take the turret lead. They actually closest to 100 gold difference here. Actually, basically this exactly even. And Ocelote, he might get ganked right here.
Mostly in the Ocelote is ahead or equal in gold in spite of the fact that they are behind on objectives is in Jwaow. Look at the farm difference between himself and Trundle. That is a big, big disparity. And that's the kind of thing Jwaow does to other players. He just destroys them. But that does mean, so long as Renekton isn't allowed to roam, paIN actually has a lot more of a strong 4-on-4 fight.
And a paIN coming down on a Morden. There's nowhere to spot him there, but they know he's going to be in the vicinity. They expect him to be there. As you see the rest of oceloteWorld pushing down onto his turret. They're trying to kill every single minion here. We see paIN actually go for the engage. They're going to go for a warder. They're just a spot where they are. And Minerva, can he land this crescendo? He doesn't have flash available. He actually, unfortunately, doesn't hit it because Morden does flash out of it. But will he turn this fight around? They have everyone there. They don't have the crescendo up, so this will give oceloteWorld the opportunity to turn this. And he gets the Ragnarok pumped out of SirT. That is unfortunate for him. In the meantime, though, you're seeing paIN push down middle. They're shoving down as Ocelote did go down, and they're going for a turret.
Yeah, even though paIN kind of messed up that crescendo and the follow-up, it doesn't really matter because paIN are the ones still taking the advantages. Jwaow will obviously increase his farm difference, and they're having to retreat because he might be able to collapse on them, but that doesn't really matter. They are the ones winning out in the end. The crescendo for the flash trade, even though it needn't have been a trade, is fully in their advantage.
And this game is dead even across the board. The only difference is that one extra turret that we have for paIN currently, and Jwaow, he's just farming as much as possible. 61 CS lead, 18 minutes in right now. And he wasn't even trying to do damage to that top turret. He was just shoving the lane in, forcing it to miss on quite a bit. I mean, we can see the turret's health. It's still very, very healthy currently. Right now, oceloteWorld, they seem to be stuck on what to do next. They want to go for some objectives here. They still want to pull off some of these ganks, but they're being thwarted every single time.
Yeah, they're trying right now for the bottom tower. That's the most obvious option because obviously top tower is already gone. Mid tower defended by Orianna. Good wave clear and really, really dangerous because of the amount of farm she's got. That does mean that it's quite predictable, and that's why you can see SirT hanging around in the bottom jungle. He knows the only two places they could possibly go for an objective force, and he can be in position to react quickly.
You're seeing Jwaow just shred through every single one of those minions. That is insane how fast he picks those up. And right now, you see, you have that Nashor's 2 plus guys done, so he has a lot of penetration to mix that in with the sword boots. And you have that steady tank out of their top laners. The 80 carries a Triforce compared to a Bloodthirster. But the CS is just so split between them that you really don't know who has the advantage. It just depends on who gets that engage off.
Jwaow is actually building now to snowball that top lane even further. You can see he's built a Tiamat. So once he's got the Hydra, he's already stronger than Venom. He'll be able to push him away from the minions and keep himself really, really sustained, which allows him to split push continually. But that does mean he's going to be squishy in these team fights if he ever gets down to one, because Cammy is doing so much damage, he will shred him.
And look at all these wards invested by paIN. You see one there, actually 2 or 3 there. You see a couple here towards blue, trying to protect a pink ward in as well. I mean, they are trying to control the vision everywhere along the map inside their own jungle because they realize they're being invaded upon. And you look at oceloteWorlds, they just have a couple here or there. I mean, there's a couple towards the top side, which is mostly put down from Jwaow, who's been pushing up constantly. And right now we're hitting a slow point in the game. About 20 minutes in, Dragon will be up in about a minute, and I'm assuming that's where we're going to see the action really break down.
Yeah, what oceloteWorld need to be doing here is using how strong Jwaow is to create map pressure. That's what he's doing right now. He's going top, but because of their lacking vision control, they're having a lot of problems actually getting him safely in position to do that. So I actually feel right now, using this kind of 50 seconds left until Dragon comes up, Morden would be very, very well served by heading up into the upper jungle and creating a situation for Jwaow where he can actually push that top lane relentlessly and then roam down for the Dragon in time. As it is now, probably a bit too late for that. Trundle's going to be able to push out top and then roam down to join up with his team. And it's going to be a straight 5-on-5, which is where the Tiamat build might become a problem. You actually see Jwaow did have the nous to pick up that Negatron cloak, though.
And he's going to build up that extra magic. This is going to start heading up towards this Dragon. Also going to push up middle. They have the exact time on it since they got it last time. 20 seconds remaining. You see the damage that Morden just took right there from Kami, who is farming excellently this entire game. And that early penetration build is really working out well for him here, because Morden has arm. So he's basically done to him every single time. Kami. We might see that again just a second as Dragon has now spawned in here. So doesn't see that ward right there, unfortunately, but the bottom lane of paIN is actually down towards, well, 80k support down towards the bottom side of the map. They're really kind of out of position right here, but both teams really hesitant to make that initial move towards Dragon.
It's very, very risky because both of the teams have flash initiate AoE CCs that can be chained together. It actually looks like paIN are going to try for this, but they have to be very careful.
Morden, he might look for the steal. Already got one earlier on today. Can he make it happen this time? No, he actually doesn't get it. He does get kicked back. He's on instantly. Crescendo lands across Dioud. He's very low. Like brTT, the ultimate comes out, but it's not going to do anything but 2 kills, and the Dragon come in almost instantly for paIN. They're going to start pushing at middle. They might be able to turn off this.
Are pushing them back hard. Now, that fight was because of what we got pulled out of position. Try and get an engage off of that Dragon fight, so it was really, really smart by them. They're able to take another tower. They are going to just back off now and get free items and vision control in this upper jungle. And when they come back into the lanes now, they are going to have the vision, they are going to have the items. It'll be their time to start sieging, for instance, the upper tower. And
Kami, he was already hurting, but he has another 2,600 gold to spend, and that is going to make him extremely dangerous. And paIN Gaming, I want to say they came in as the underdogs, but I think overall it's just a very even match between them. They're showing up right when it counts, and they are making the plays work for them. 22.5 minutes in, they finally have that gold lead. And right now, also, well, they just, like you said, got caught off guard there. They really can't afford to do that too many more times.
And remember, paIN, they have a gold advantage in spite of the fact that Jwaow has proven himself once again to be one of Europe's top laners. but he's only bringing their team up to 3,000 below, in spite of having a personal kind of goal generation difference that must be heading up to 2 or 3 kills worth.
Oh, Kami, he's out of position. He's being forced to flash away since also flashing to get the slow. They do, in fact, get it right there. Well, he's able to escape, and that's all that really matters right now, but Minerva doesn't have Crescendo available. Ocelote does have that Lich Bane finish, so they could push down this turret fairly quickly. If they don't do it quickly, Minerva will have that Crescendo up, and that will turn this fight completely around. And Jwaow, he has almost the money for that Hydra.
Yeah.
Still trying to farm it up here. And I don't think the thing is, like in that last fight, it wasn't even engaged. It was like, oh crap, Morden got caught, he died, and then Dioud got caught, he died, and we just had to run away. We didn't even get to fight them.
Yeah, Jwaow in that last fight really wasn't a factor, which is part of the reason paIN came out on top of it. The fact of the matter is, though, that a lot quicker, and when he's built up this kind of advantage, that is going to be very important to their playstyle.
Haydal pushing up very aggressive right here. They see brTT at the bottom of the map in bot lane, trying to push out that wave yet again, so they might want to go for that push on this turret, but brTT is already on his way back. Does have that Bloodthirster and that Zeal now completed. And the Crescendo is now available for Minerva. This could be very dangerous for both these teams, but looks like oceloteWorld's going to go straight in for it. The ball is in position. There's the ultimate. He catches Ocelote. He gets Crescendo. He gets the ultimate off onto him in just in time to stay alive. He's going to go down though to Venon, and they're chasing up towards the back line. Jwaow looking for the kill to Minerva. He finally does get it, but brTT has him out of position. They pick up that kill. Haydal and Morden can't back them up. It's a 2-for-2 trade, and Haydal not very low. The kick coming out of Morden knocks Venon away, keeps him off of this chase, but Venon's not done just yet. He still has a pillar flip that he can't put down. He can't potentially catch him off guard. He does get Haydal, but he gets Arcane Shift, and Venon actually flashing in. But it doesn't matter. The Arcane Shift is enough to save Haydal right there. And with all that fight breaking out, it was still only a 2-for-2.
And that's because there was so much focus put down by paIN on Ocelote. He tried to burst him incredibly hard, actually ended up wasting a lot of cooldowns on his ultimate. He was invulnerable, but at the same time, they still came out ahead because Jwaow went for an aggressive kind of counter-engage dive. That situation, though, it really didn't work out. They ended up very straggled out, and the tower put out a lot of damage in the fight. paIN ended up chasing them down, but because of the amount of wasted cooldowns, they weren't able to capitalize on it completely.
brTT ran right by a pink ward right there. He's going to actually start backing away, dodges the Q out of Morden. Just stops moving, not even scared of him. And he will be able to run away, but the rest of oceloteWorld will be able to gain control of this red buff. Haydal will be able to pick that one up here. Meantime, SirT is pushing this top side. Jwaow finally joined the party here. Doesn't have that Ravenous Hydra done just yet. So he was forced to go into that Spectral's Cowl and a little bit more health. And the thing was, like you said, he kind of overextended in that fight. He got a little bit too deep. He got completely split off the rest of his team because that turret still being up. And if you look at turret's health, it's still about a third life. And a little bit, I want to know if that was just oceloteWorld being a little bit too cocky going for the fight, or they realized that once that Orion ultimate is down and Ocelote survived that initial burst, that they could go for it.
I feel like they may have felt that way because they knew how many cooldowns had been used by paIN there, but they ignored the fact that while they were diving, they couldn't safely give brTT, and that meant he was free to put out a huge amount of damage across the fight, which in turn allowed him to then just chase down with his Get Excited passive. So I can understand making the decision, but I don't agree with it. I think they should have tried at least to disengage, but that would have meant a guaranteed at least loss of one person.
paIN, look at the items that they've been able to complete. They are getting dangerously close to being able to win these team fights flat out. I mean, Kami, if he lands a perfect Orion ultimate with that Death Cap, with that Athenes and Holy Grail, the Haunting Guys, and the Sword Boots, he is going to shred through the entirety of oceloteWorld. Even though Jwaow has a Magic Resist built up, even though Morden has a Negatron Cloak, it's just not going to be enough to survive against that burst. And the thing is, Kami's level 16. He has rank 3 ultimate. And that gives him even a greater advantage into these fights.
Yeah, there's a big amount of damage available to them, but they have some trouble putting it down in the right places. As you mentioned in Champion Select, they don't have a ball carrier, so they have to kind of rely on Either oceloteWorld.
Oh, they go straight for Kami. He gets bursted down before he can do anything. And now SirT with their run-up pop, trying to chase him away. We see Jwaow go straight in, Minerva getting dropped very low. Jwaow gets on underturn. He goes down. That's a 1-for-1 so far. Now Dioud is down because Venon has to ride to the party. He's looking for a couple more kills. He doesn't have that build run of colors, but he has the slow. He has enough to chase them down. Morden being forced to run away, and Minerva is able to survive. But Haydal, he's sticking around onto the side. This could be very dangerous if he gets caught here. He does go straight to the back line for brTT. He does get the kill, but at what cost? Venon is chasing him down as Morden was the one to shut him down. Haydal and Ocelote staying alive with the heals. They get the double kills. They get 4 kills in that trade, only losing 2 men. And the longevity of their team, once that wombo combo was down for paIN, was enough. And Kami didn't even get his ultimate the whole time.
oceloteWorld won that fight was because paIN chased a little too far and split themselves up. brTT still has his barrier. If he had been able to survive that little bit of extra damage, oceloteWorld could never have turned that around. And their hesitation was a very close run thing. oceloteWorld, though, do put themselves back up a gold advantage if they can get this dragon.
This is very dangerous. Kami still has ultimate available. Will he be able to pull it off in the right spot? We see us flash straight in for Kami. There's the ultimate. Haydal goes down. The crescendo, well placed from Kami, still dies at the end. The offside. Now they're chasing Minerva down. They have the slow. They're going to have the stun, but Minerva's going to fall here. And that is a double kill with Dragon off the back too. If they want it.
Or not. Yes, there we go. They just wanted to ward it. Makes sense. They are going to be able to pick that up. That will be a gold advantage. I don't think SirT should do this.
And he doesn't get the sight still off. Dioud getting very low. He's going to be dropped right away, and they're still committed to this fight. It is a bloodbath. paIN wants to fight over and over. Jwaow getting caught by the choppers. He's going to go down. He sacrificed himself. And we see paIN pick up 2 kills, a double kill going over to brTT.
I stand corrected. That was actually really, really smart. Ocelote was running low on mana, had no ultimate. He couldn't afford to go close because he couldn't burst down SirT, and as a result, he did almost no damage in that fight. And brTT, he was free to just hit whoever he wanted as much as he wanted.
And these two teams, they just want to fight. They don't really care about the rest of the game. They just want to go head-to-head every single time. And it's been so back and forth between these two teams that 29.5 minutes in, it's basically all tied up in gold, all tied up in turrets, almost all tied up in kills as well. And as this game progresses on, there's got to be a breaking point at paIN. You have to think that they're going to be stronger in that late game.
Yeah, they have some really strong late game carries. I will say oceloteWorld will never be out of this, even if we get to full build completely. But you have to give a slight edge to paIN, having Jinx as their cleanup. Orianna as a huge teamfight CC machine with a lot of burst damage to boot is really good, but comparing that to Kale's ability to shred a bruiser, it's an advantage probably to paIN, but could easily be turned around.
All right, now paIN going for an invader here. brTT not really in position to help out. Neither is Haydal, who's down towards the bottom side of the map. Both AD carries working up towards the middle side, and we do see also we're realizing they're going to take our blue. Why not just shove middle? We might be able to get a turn off this, get him in a bad position because they already have those 2 turrets down. We might be able to get an inhibitor down as well as Dioud going to ward off the backside, just kind of giving that vision. Doesn't get the ward down, but does let them know that they are coming. And they have paIN in a really interesting position that if they split up, this could be very dangerous. Looks like oceloteWorld just going to back away, not really bother going for this fight. And just take only the fights they really want to make happen for them, the ones they're only really confident in winning.
It was a very interesting dance there, but nothing actually coming of it in the end. paIN, they reacted fairly calmly to the fact they had been split off from their base because they knew oceloteWorld were not going to seek out and engage, on equal terms. Having pushed towards that kind of inhib tower area, oceloteWorld just said, well, actually, we're just going to back out and let you get round back towards defending your base. And that's reasonable, understandable, smart, I guess. But it does mean paIN get even closer towards that late game situation.
Right now we are running into a little bit of a stale point here between both these teams. We are 31.5 minutes in, and it's at that point in the game though where if you lose a major team fight and it's very one-sided, you could have just lost the game, and you can tell both teams are really worried about that, are really scared of dropping that first map in this best-of-3. As both of them want to advance on to play against Millennium in the Grand Finals, which will be actually right after this best-of-3. It will be a best-of-5 as well, so that makes it a little bit more interesting across the board for both of them. And if you're paIN, you have all of Brazil on your side. You're fighting for your country. If you're oceloteWorld, you're fighting for everything. I mean, if you think about it, considering they didn't get the Coke League, they're looking like a team that, you know, wouldn't actually stay together or wouldn't really be able to take on some of the best teams, and they're fighting just for their image and also fighting for, I want to say their kind of careers. I mean, Ocelote's fighting for his brand, but I mean, kind of their careers, but they still have to show that they're still valuable and that team still need to watch out for them.
You could argue, if you were in Ocelote's team, that you kind of got cheesed out of the Coke League. They were not ready for a Trundle Pillar Yasuo combination. So if that situation hadn't arisen, they maybe wouldn't have been pushed out. But fair play to the team that knocked them out. That was a smart combo. They used it well. And Ocelote will, well, it says it in the name. Is it Ocelote that's the problem? If you're looking at the score lines right now, you wouldn't say so. But he's not showing himself to be making any huge plays this game.
I can kind of see that, and I can also kind of see the other side of that as well, where his position has been really interesting, where sometimes he, you know, think about the fight earlier on when he was in middle, he got pulled in, he got fully chained up, he got to open up, and because of that, they were able to stay alive and turn around the fight. There's very hit or miss plays, but I think Ocelote in general has really improved over these past couple of weeks. He used to be kind of the lane to always gank if you're on his team or the other team, because you'll be able to pick those off most likely, but he's been really stepping up. His Gragas earlier today was fantastic, and right now, looks like the calls really work in their favor too, because they're catching paIN completely off guard. They're going for a push to this top turret. There's nothing paIN can do about this. This is going to fall before they can even get there. But we do have Minerva, who's going off the side looking for potentially a kill right there, or sorry, crescendo. But instead of going for that, they back away, and now oceloteWorld gets a nice gold advantage.
Yeah, that's just a 3-tower for nothing, and that highlights the need for paIN to keep control of their own jungle. But the thing is, at the moment, paIN are a little bit leery of looking for any kind of engage, or even face-checking any brush.
This could be very dangerous. They're not spotted coming from the backside. Dioud's going to lead the charge. He has ultimate available. Who's to hit on? He gets Venom in the back. They done the crescendo and the Orion ultimate. It is perfect coming out of paIN, and they are taking this fight one by one. That is also going down. That is J1, a double kill. Almost a triple kill card for brTT. And just like that, oceloteWorld had the engage they wanted, but they didn't expect that crescendo and that Orion ultimate combo.
They did not expect the Mikhail's Crucible. It saved brTT. It cleansed him out of the stun. He was then able to flash out, and that meant oceloteWorld had just dived, thrown everything they had to burst him down, and had nothing to follow up on the rest of the team, and brTT was still putting out all his damage.
And paIN, they're going to get the first inhibitor off the SirT. Are they going to go for the push? Are they going to go for the win? They're sticking around long enough. They have 20 seconds on Ocelote. They have 10 seconds on Jwaow. They're looking for it here. They're going for the first Nexus turret. They do get that down. Haydal trying to do everything he possibly can to save this one. As they're trying to turn around, the Nexus goes down. They're going for the Nexus, and they're going to pick up map number 1 over oceloteWorld. And you can hear the crowd's excitement from that game. An insanely well-played match by paIN. And we talked about one misstep, one mistake late game at 30 minutes plus can ruin the game. You can drop out, and they come out huge. That crescendo Oriana ultimate combo was fantastic. Probably the highlight of the day so far. And they pull off a first map victory.
Got like just such a good, I cannot get over that Mikhail's Crucible. Like, that may not have been the flashiest part of that team fight, but that, if that wasn't a planned bait, that was reflexes that are just unbelievable to get brTT out of dodge. I really have to admire that.
And I want the producer to tell me, can we actually show the replay of that when it comes back to us? Is that possible? Because I think we need to see that fight one more time because of how it developed. Okay, so let me know in just a second if that is a possibility as I get the replay ready in case we go for it. But just so damn well played by both those teams. oceloteWorld, they had the control in the beginning. They kind of fought back and forth. They were bashing heads the entire time. But paIN, with that one play at the end, was enough to carry it out.
It was a situation where both of the teams were farming up like monsters. You can actually see still 350 CS on Oriana and 327 on Kale. That's to the minute levels of farming, and that means a lot of farming. But that does also mean you haven't got that kind of that map control thing going on. There wasn't that much tussling back and forth unless they managed to get a dragon fight. But even then, it was never a big swing either direction. In the end, getting that one huge fight at the end was what mattered.
Yeah, Tim, can we actually put that on the screen and kind of walk through it one more time? Because I want to show everyone at home just how insane that really was. Maybe we'll get it on screen, maybe not, but you obviously, oh, there we go. Nice, thank you, Tim. So let's go and take a look through this really quickly, really slowly, because you see oceloteWorld, they're coming in from the top side. They have the perfect engage. They are not spotted whatsoever. Haydal lets them know they're there, but look at Dioud leading the charge in. He gets the stun on a brTT. They get the crescendo perfectly well placed. Mikhail's Crucible comes in right there, and he's able to just completely flash away, just like you said. And with that ultimate, look at that. Every single man minus Haydal completely blown up across the board, and they just fall one by one by one. And because of that, Mikhail's, like you're saying, brTT just got out of range. He wasn't bursted down, and it didn't matter what happened in the end. They were able to overpower them completely. They were able to lock that one down, and paIN, that was just so well done, so well played, and to have it come down to just that, the first best of 3 kickoff.